Hey YouTube, it's Thomas here. So today I am going to talk about the Dynaudio Contour S5.4, and as you can see, this is a really big speaker. Now for those of you who just want to hear me talk about a speaker, just skip to the time below. For those of you who have been following me and who have seen the video on the $300,000 system that I made, you'll know that the reason why I keep changing speakers is because every time I go to his place, my friend's place, and come home, I end up selling everything wanting to upgrade. So it's been a curse for me. I've been chasing after the wow factor that I hear from his speaker for the last 2 years, and I've gone through over 30 pairs of speakers. Of course, I'm not naive enough to think that a $3,000 speaker can compete against a $70,000 speaker, especially when it's made of diamonds. Well, it has diamond woofers. However, I was hoping that the law of diminishing return would kick in at one point, and maybe a $10,000 speaker can come 70% close to a $70,000 speaker. So, is this speaker the one that would do it? Well, keep watching. So these speakers are designed in Denmark, and like all Dynaudio I have owned, it is not easy to drive. These are rated at 87 dB and are 4 ohm speakers. It has the new Esotar 2, which is one of the best tweeter that Dynaudio made. 1-inch tweeter, a 6-inch mid-range woofer, and 2 8-inch bass woofers. It's a bit strange the way it's configured, like you have the 2 bass woofers on top while the tweeter is actually at the bottom. So each speaker weighs 70 kilogram. Now, usually I would lend my speakers to my friends, but not these. Once I had them set up, man, it was too heavy to move them. And it was a pain in the ass to actually bring them down to my basement. So these speakers, suggested retail price were 10,000 Canadian. So it's pretty high end. So if you look at Dynaudio speaker lineup, you have on top the Evidence series, then the Confidence series, and then the Contour series, which is the one that we're talking about today. And below that you have the Focus, the Excite, and the Zeo. Well, correct me if I'm wrong in ranking the series. So the Contour series falls in the middle. The one I have here is the last generation one. I'm sure if you're a current Dynaudio Focus owner, you'll be curious if these S5.4 are a significant upgrade or not. Now, I have the Dynaudio Focus 160. It has the tweeter based on the Esotar 2 design, and I find the Focus 160 tweeter just right. For those who haven't seen the video, go check it out. I made a video on it. The Focus 160 tweeter is easy on the ear and works well with all my amps, Class D, Class AB, Class A, no problem. But so given these S5.4 had the real Esotar 2 tweeter, I was expecting a similar sound, and boy was I wrong. The first 10 seconds I plug it in to my bel canto amps, I was like, damn it. It was the same feeling I had when I brought the Foco speakers home. These speakers are bright. Some would call it revealing, but for me it's a pain in the ass to fine tune it. I knew that I cannot use the bel canto Class D amps with these speakers. So my nephew, my teenager nephew, who knows nothing about speakers, well, he helped me unpack it. And when he heard it, he told me right away, I can hear the lips of the singer moving. The clarity is insane on these speakers. So they tuned these tweeter to be much more revealing than the Focus series, a double-edged sword. If I can fine-tune it well, I know it will be awesome, but it's not easy. So if someone is curious, how can a speaker be $10,000? Well, come listen to these and the clarity will jump out. You want to experience the singer's lips moving? These can do it. Now, as I mentioned in my Mcintosh video, when you hear the singer's breath clearly, you can hear emotions better. Now, we cannot see the singer's face, so her emotions are conveyed through the lyrics as well as her breath. Someone sounding sad or angry breathes differently. The more resolving a system is, the more you can hear a singer's breath and therefore more emotions. So to this point later on, when I asked my nephew to listen to my Spendor S8E, now those are $4,000 speakers, he had to concentrate to hear the breathing. And he said that it's not like the Dynaudio, where he can hear it without trying. Next, with these speakers, because it's so tall, the soundstage is tall, and there's a sense of grandness with these speakers. The singer feels more like a full person as opposed to a mini-me. The mid-range is rich and thick. There's a lot of density in the mid-range, and my friends, they tested that specific part by playing piano tracks with it. Playing piano track is a good test. Does the piano key sound hollow, or does it have weight? And the bass goes really low on these speakers. And when I play the song In the Arms of an Angel by Sarah McLachlan, still can't pronounce it, I can feel the weight of the grand piano at the beginning. So what we have here is a speaker with really extended top end, lots of detail, rich mid-range, and a bass that can go really low. So is this gonna be my final speaker? Unfortunately, nope. So there are a few issues I have with it. These are what I call well-balanced speakers. It's like a man in a suit. It's for sophisticated audiophiles. Well, and I'm not sophisticated audiophile. Let me define what I meant by sophisticated audiophiles. So I usually divide people into 4 groups. So the first level, people who are easily impressed by bass or clarity. Usually they're happy as long as the speakers have good bass and can shake the room. The second level, people like me who want that detailed, non-fatiguing highs, sweet mid-range, and powerful bass. And then you got the third level. Everything the second level people want, but they pay attention to soundstage and imaging. And finally, the sophisticated listeners who don't really care about ultra-fine detail, powerful bass, but are very specific stuff they look for, such as, are the instrument sound blended with the singer voice, or are they separate? Are the instrument and singer fighting for center stage? Is the mid-range focused or dispersed? Can I hear the lips of the singer moving? Does it sound real? Does the ocean waves sound real in the song? Can I imagine the ocean breeze? Am I hearing 3D soundstage depth? And blah, 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 blah. Sophisticated listener is just my way of saying people who are very specific and weird in what they want. So when I heard this system, I knew right away it would appeal to a specific audiophile friend of mine who has the most experience among all my friends. He has auditioned over 100 systems, has owned all kind of high-end system. It's very unique in what he searched for in sound, and I was right. Out of all my friends, he was the only one who can truly appreciate these speakers. So my biggest issue with these speakers, they sound too flat. Bass is too quote-unquote accurate. On paper, it measures down to 30 Hertz, but that's why I say you cannot just rely everything on paper. Real experience is what this channel is about. Now, these speakers are not chest pounding. Even with my 350 watt or 1000 watt amp, bass, as I mentioned before, goes very low with these speakers, and that's why it's pissing off, because it's not punchy, but yet it goes very low. So passages when there is no low frequency, it feels like there's no bass, and I would say it's probably accurate to the recording. And I own so many speakers, and never once did I bother to look at the frequency response graph. But for these speakers, I did, because I was like, oh, I bet they measure well on paper, and surely they do. So how did I deal with this speaker that is too extended on the top, lack punches with its bass? These two things bothered me big time, and this is how I dealt with it. For the top end part, I came across these DIY silver interconnects. Now, I could have used a pair of interconnects that's really rolled off, but that defeats the purpose of getting a resolving speaker. You want to bring out the strength of a resolving tweeter and at the same time solve the brightness problem. If you go by the way of tone control, you kill that sparkling sound you get from super tweeters. So tone control is not the right way. So I got lucky, and my friend lent me these silver interconnects, and they're DIY. I was doing A/B tests against interconnects that are $3,000 because I had a CD player that has 2 outputs. So A/B test was with a click of a button, and these are better than the $3,000 interconnects. It eliminated the glassy edginess that was bothering me, and they're like only $180. So it was more airy and open on the top, so good synergy. I probably would say that these are good for focals too. I have to try it one day. Second, I went out to buy a Mcintosh MC352 because I needed the silky smooth sound that Mcintosh are famous for. Yep, I went crazy trying to fine-tune these speakers. And next, to deal with the lack of bass, I had this Marantz Sc11s1 preamp that had tone control. This is a pretty decent preamp. It's about 3,000-4,000. And usually the problem with tone control is that it brings distortion or phase shift, or it introduces phase shift issues. Not from this preamp. This is the strong point of this preamp, and I can use it to boost bass. I pushed the bass to the maximum, and I did not hear any distortion. So with these 3 tweaks, getting a good interconnect, buying a Mcintosh MC352, and using this preamp's tone control, I was able to get the Dynaudio to sound the way I like. Now, what I just said sounds very simple, 3 things I did, but it took me weeks to get it right. So in short, I would say, unless you're someone who have gone through like 20 speakers and know exactly what you want in a speaker, and all the speakers you have tried so far is not giving you what you want, then you can consider checking these out. For the Dynaudio Focus owner, I would bet 80% of you will not like these speakers. If you like punchy bass, these are not for you. I would say if you have the Focus series, if you want a real upgrade, just jump to the Confidence series, or maybe try the new Contour series. I never heard the new one though, the new Contour series though. If you like non-fatiguing speakers and don't want to spend time fine-tuning it with interconnects and speaker cables, then this S5.4 is not for you. If you like mid-range, a rich mid-range and balanced, accurate speakers, yeah, then give these a try. So usually when I listen to speakers, I ask myself how I feel. Usually it's either happy, excited, relaxed, edgy, or irritated. These speakers make me feel almost no feeling. It's not like my heart is calm when I listen to it, because those esoteric tweeters are quite revealing. Rather, I feel my heart just stay stationary. 100% opposite of when I listen to the $300,000 system, where I can feel my heart being pulled. But I don't mean it in a negative way when I say my heart just stays still. There's many times where I pause and there's a sense of awe and appreciation for these speakers. So I know these speakers are musical and will appeal to some audiophiles. It's just not my cup of tea. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Now, I want to clarify that it's not that these speakers don't have bass. It's just I like it more exaggerated. My friend who owned the $60,000 speaker told me they're fine, the bass. In fact, I find the Monitor Audio GX more fun, and for him, he did not like the GX300. He's definitely a more sophisticated listener than I am. Of course, I think a big problem is my room size, because we notice these speakers come to life more when we play at higher volume. So either way, my search for the ultimate speaker continues. So thanks everyone. Please leave a comment and a like if you enjoyed the video. I'll put up the sound demo video for these speakers later, as it's a bit late now. So come back and check it out later. Alright, till next time. Bye.